family friend?
Damairi Preto. Damairi. Un nombre que sabe, sí, yo no.
The sister.
Ajá.
I'm the Mary Prieto, the sister-in-law of the deceased.
Would you compose, Mom? You got this.
Mhm.
You good?
I just want to say that when he took my brother away from us, my brother-in-law, the whole family broke apart. My brother was always close to me. I was one of the youngest ones, and he always guided me, kept me in line. He just showed a lot of love to us and always protected us. When he passed away, all of that went away. I felt lost. I felt lonely. You know, I had to grow up watching my nieces and nephews always, you know, missing their father. It wasn't easy, but with the love of the family, we made sure that they had everything regardless if he was gone or not. And I just want to say a Bible verse, Ephesians 4:32. Be kind, be tenderhearted, forgive one another as Jesus Christ our God forgave us. So as a daughter of a king, I just want to say that I forgive him, but I also want him to know that God knows the true intentions behind someone's heart, and God sees everything and knows what's best. So this decision, I want it to come from God, nobody else.
Thank you.
Thank you.
At this time, I'll call Damali Violet.
Fido.
Hello, honorable members of the parole board. My name is Damali Fido, and I am obviously on the victim side of the family. I've worn many hats in my role in Chelsea. I was a youth worker at Roca over 25 years ago. Indigenous folks from the Yukon came and trained us on restorative justice circles. So I too am a trained circle keeper, have been a youth worker for many years, and most recently served as a counselor at large in the city of Chelsea. I'm an activist, I'm an advocate, a youth worker, mom, auntie. Louis was best friends with my cousin, whose life has never been the same after Louis passed away. He barely comes out and kind of in a deep depression. Louis had a spirit that was so uplifting. He had beautiful friends. He was a man of morals. He was a father of 3 at the time, of 4 now. And his younger brother, who's also named Louis, is my brother. And when his older brother passed away, I kind of assumed the role of big sister, big sibling, to make sure that he always had the love and support that he's needed, and I've kept in touch with him over the years. I believe in second chances. I've based my entire life in working with young people on making sure that they have those chances. In my advocacy, I've advocated for criminal reform, for people like Jonathan to be able to get the rehabilitation that he needs. And I too have love for folks on the other side, Brian and Joe. I just want to correct Joe, the projects are not luxury units. It's multi-purpose. There's still 96 affordable units are still there, and the rest of market rent. But just, because if we're gonna, I swear to tell the truth. I want to make sure that we're being honest here. I believe in second chances, I do. And I do believe that Jonathan has a right to be given that second chance if and when he's ready. But what I heard today was a lot of I, me, and prepared statements of somebody that had obviously been trained to respond to the questions that would come before him today. I didn't feel a lot of empathy. I didn't hear any accountability, dancing around the questions when it got hard, and I didn't hear anything about mental health. And in the community, that's something that we constantly talk about with him, is that in the community, it's known that he had mental health issues, and so I didn't hear any of that. And even if it's not that there's a diagnosis that needs to happen, that's out of my pay grade. But for putting yourself in situations where you could shoot someone in the face and in the stomach and take someone's life, I need therapy. And I don't feel like there's enough of that. I don't feel that there's enough remorse. I don't feel that. Those just seem like a lot of excuses. And, you know, I've been in trouble a few times. I've been arrested and nobody ever did it. So like the appeal of the tickets and the sniper comment, I just don't think he's ready. Like, to be honest with you, like trying to be as objective as possible. And I do believe in second chances. I truly, truly do. I just don't think that man is ready. And when he is ready, I hope that he comes out and that he's able to have kids and live a life and start brand new. Unfortunately, Lewis's kids didn't have the opportunity to have a father, and I hope that somehow in the universe we could fix that inequity by allowing him to be a father to somebody someday. As far as the harm that he's caused, it's deep, it's profound, and I just don't think that it's time for him. I've done this work for many years. I can smell it. I commend him for his growth. I commend him for seeking the faith that he needed to guide him through this. But there needs to be some more study of the criminal mind, the understanding of what it means to be empathetic, of being able to control yourself, not act on impulses, mental health support. And so, yeah, we all want our people to be with us, but they need to be there in a good way, in a healthy way. And on behalf of my community, I've spoken with a lot of folks who do not feel happy about him being here. We have a lot of being out. We have our share of issues in Chelsea. And we just don't need another person that's not fully rehabilitated to come back into our streets. We just don't need that. We have enough issues. Again, I just want to speak on behalf of Lewis's family, and especially his aunt, who humbly agreed to sit down so that I can speak. She's a woman of faith who is the aunt of Lewis, of both Lewises, the brothers, the two Lewises. And she's always been a huge support, and I know she was gonna come here and say that let God do what God does, and that at the end of the day, we are always rooted in our love and our truth and support for each other. And when the day comes for Jonathan to come out, then great, we wish him well. But we don't think he's ready. Thank you for the opportunity to let me speak.
At this time, I'll call Luis Rodriguez, the victim's brother.
Good morning, board. Good morning, Jonathan.
Sir.
Listen, I don't mean this man no harm whatsoever. I appreciate you telling me this. I mean this man no harm whatsoever. This God's working with me. At the end of the day, I have had a lot of struggles, however. It's a natural act of a human being who has passed through such a trauma. I had this same amount of time as Jonathan to contemplate on my feelings and how to go about them, etc. And I just have to be honest and say that, I tried my very best to brush a lot off and join certain classes that he was trying to, I forget the name. There was this class that he was going to join for the victims and whatnot like that, so that we could set an example to the rest of the world as to the importance, as to why giving someone a second chance. You know what I'm saying? What better way to put that example out there than for the immediate brother of the deceased to join such a class, correct? But, it's just a little too hard to this day, unfortunately for me. And I say unfortunately because he has loved ones who are praying on him and who miss him dearly, who wish they could he could attend, family outings and whatnot and have a nice hobby at home together. But let me tell you something, there's one man that can't come home to do that anymore. And that man's my brother. So that part is where I'm fighting demons, because I wish I really had it in me to heal the whole world entirely with both my hands, so that nothing like this ever was to present itself, for the sake of peace and tranquility to be introduced into this cold world we all live in. I am a huge believer in God's purpose, but I am also very aware of the fact that God is not here to guide us and hold us by our hand. We make our own decisions. We reap what we sow. And with that, I apologize deeply to the family and object for his release, because he's been granted his wishes already. And the most important one is oxygen. He's breathing, he's able to wake up and eat, he's able to attend such classes and get his master's and bachelor's or whatever it is he's doing. Good for him. My brother can't. His kids have to suffer on a daily. The phone call I had to make a week ago to prepare the family for such an outing, even, it was just like extremely rough on everyone. So I have to just kind of relive this. To correct everyone, it hasn't been 15 years yet. It's been 14 years and a couple months. Jonathan, I'm sorry you have to experience this yourself, man. Nobody deserves to have to really do, a life sentence. Nobody deserves to have to be put under without it being God's will. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't cancer that killed him. It wasn't an STD. It wasn't an accidental car accident. It wasn't the fact that he, drowned or something. No, you had the decision in front of you, my man. You could have walked away. You flashed the gun, and we all know my brother. We all know me. We ain't gonna stand down, And it's unfortunate, because things like my brother not being here is the main thing that happens when you think you're God, and you can fight a gun. But just like when you get your license to carry, you have 10 different ways to get away and de-escalate the situation prior to pulling that trigger. There was nothing holding this man from running away himself with the gun in his hands. You know what I'm saying? He had the decision to pull away after the first shot. He took it upon himself to follow my brother to where he stumbled for the sake of getting safety, man, and continued to squeeze. He said it here today. He intentionally killed my brother. See what I'm saying? And still with that, Jonathan, I say I love you. And I hope that God does work his magic on you, man. You know what I'm saying? But you're extremely selfish. And you need to work on yourself still. And I'm sorry, that's how I feel. And not for nothing. My man, you were 10 feet away from me. Here I am, humble. You know what I'm saying? Hoping for nothing but the best on God's work and God's time. I appreciate y'all for what y'all do, for taking it upon yourself to come out here, you know what I'm saying, and hear us all out. I appreciate the COs, every single one of y'all. I appreciate Jonathan's family. I appreciate Jonathan, you know what I'm saying, for all of his achievements and whatnot, and being so eager to want to be someone that he didn't have the opportunity to become the day he pulled the trigger on my brother, you heard? That's the day he threw all of those opportunities away, if you ask me, And I don't agree with the fact that he still has the opportunity to, you know what I'm saying, to have opportunities, let's put it that way. And the only reason for that is because my brother's not here to have the same exact ones, and father his children, or even meet the daughter that he was not able to meet.
All right,
Yeah,
so we're
God bless
beyond
you.
5 minutes.